Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. Well, at least to anybody who celebrates it or even just observes it. But it is the Chinese New Year, and we are in the year of the metal ox. So the element associated with this one is metal, and it is the year of the ox. I myself am a water pig based on my birth date and birth year, but this year is the metal ox. So, first thing, notice the outfit. Oh, and by the way, if you do not celebrate that or observe it or recognize it, then happy Friday. So, the outfit. I went into the closet and completely forgot I had this overshirt and pants duo. I keep forgetting that I have it because I always put it away and I forget that it's there. So I figured why not just put together an outfit like that, and that's what I wore. It was a bit warm, and usually that's why you'll notice that I pretty much work out in shorts and t-shirts primarily and almost exclusively. Although lately I've been wearing pants a few times. The reason why is just because I get overheated very easily, so wearing something like this will definitely get me sweating and get me very warm and in almost no time. So I have to be careful. I have to make sure I'm well hydrated, but it is comfortable and it is nice. It's just I tend to overheat very, very easily. So I started off with the T-bar row. I've typically been doing incline bench first, but today I figured why not just shake things up a bit, go for the T-bar row before going to the bench press, and that's what I did. So I started off with a warm-up set of 10 with two 25s on the sleeve. Oh, and by the way, I completely did not do a cardio warm-up because I really didn't think I needed to, especially with the way I was dressed. I was completely warm, so I didn't want to spend any time on a machine just for the fact that I didn't need it, and went right to the workout. So after the set of 10, I went to a set of 6 with three 25-pound plates on the sleeve, and then from there I started off the working sets, the 10 by 3, 90 seconds of rest in between sets with 150 pounds or 4 25-pound plates plus a 5-pound plate. So 150 in total, and it was very comfortable. These sets were not difficult at all, and you're seeing a bit of a pause at the top, but nothing crazy, nothing overt, just making sure I get to my peak contraction and then bringing the weight down all the way down to the full extension at the bottom. So nothing really particularly special about these reps other than the fact that I'm still just ensuring that I'm in good body positioning, good starting position, but also still making sure that I get not only to the peak contraction at the top, but actually holding it for a bit. Nothing terribly long, just making sure that I get there and give it a nice good pause before continuing on. For the accessory, I went with an unexpected choice. I didn't know what I was going to do for accessories today. I did want to do something a little bit different, and I went to the Lat Pulldown station, but I specifically went with a pronated grip. Lately I've been doing a lot with neutral grip and underhand grip or supinated grip. Really, it's only deadlifting that I'm using a double overhand grip, so I wanted to do a double overhand pull down, and I didn't want to go terribly heavy, but I did want to make sure that I got sufficiently worked. So I started off with an initial warm-up set with 150 pounds for 8, and then I did progressive sets. So I did the first working set with 200 pounds for 8, then that was a bit easy. That really was. It wasn't much of a challenge. So then I went to 210 for a set of 8, and then a set of 8 with 220, and 220 was the top set. It started to get challenging towards probably the last 2 reps, but nothing that I couldn't handle, nothing that I was even going to remotely fail on, but that's when it really started to kick in a bit. So I kept it very manageable, just really focused on a good squeeze, and for that one, I just wanted to get good volume in without having to worry about going down to like 6 reps or something like that, although that would have been perfectly fine if I did go to failure. I just didn't want to, if I'm being completely transparent. Then, after that, and you're seeing the last set of the T-bar row here, then after that I did go to the incline bench and took out my typical first set with the bar, so I really didn't need it, especially after doing a full exercise with that kind of volume. Going to the second one, usually I don't need as much warm up because my body's pretty much ready to go. Of course, with the movement pattern, you want to get some warm up in. It's just that you might not have to go as light as usual if it's the first mover of the day. So what I did was a set of 8 with 95 pounds and then a set of 6 with 135. I tossed around the idea of going to 185, but I knew deep down I didn't need to. So then I just shot up to 200 pounds, the current working weight for the 10 by 3. 90 seconds of rest in between sets, and I had a little bit of fun with pause repping, not for a lot of them, but for the latter sets, probably after set 4 or set 5 or something like that. Then I started to I'll just have a little bit of fun with pausing, and then of course towards the last 2 sets, I believe, I put ridiculous pauses on the chest, unnecessary, completely unnecessary. I was just having a good time. Bench pressing really is what it comes down to it, and of course just because I could, so that won't always be the case, but a little stoppage like that is more than enough. So when I got to the last rep of the last couple sets, I believe, then I just held it there just for the fact that I could. So incline bench, very, very comfortable, as it should be. 200 pounds is not that much, so I'm happy about that. Very unconventionally, I did not do a flat bench press. I didn't do the neck press. I didn't do a dumbbell bench press. I actually went to a seated chest press, which there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I would not use that as a primary mover, but as a secondary or just as an accessory movement, it's not a bad idea. You can overload safely. You can push yourself more than you normally would if you were holding a barbell on a bench or if you were holding dumbbells on a bench or anything like that. So you could push yourself a little bit more and be safe. It is guided, so you don't have to worry about stabilizers as much, but that's the job of your primary mover, is to do that. So for the secondary, I don't have a problem with going to a seated machine. It wouldn't necessarily always be my go-to, but it is an option, especially if you do want to go a little bit heavier. So as a result, I started off with a set of 8 with 150, and I was kind of expecting just to do the same weights as the pull down. However, when I got to 200 pounds for 8 for the first working set, I couldn't count it. I really couldn't. It was just too easy. It felt like nothing. So the 2 exercises, the 2 accessories were different. And so what I did was I went from 200, I counted that as a warm-up set, and then I went to pretty much the entire stack. So I went to 240 and did that for the 3x8, and it really didn't get difficult until the 3rd set and really maybe the last rep. And I might say last rep or 2. But I was actually surprised. I didn't expect to be able to do that. So I did the full stack, which is always a nice feeling if you're ever able to do that. But it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. And again, it's not like I'm going to always go to the seated chest press, but it is there. I got a lot of good strength work and volume with it. It would never be a primary mover, but as a secondary or even just as an accessory for the chest and some of the triceps, it's a fine option. It's a fine option to take. And sometimes you might really want to take it. Sometimes you might have an issue with maybe your lower back or just lying on a bench. The seated chest press is a great option. Even a standing cable chest press is a good option. I just happen to go with the seated chest press today. So that was the workout. Now for the rest of the video, I just want to point out that I was very fortunate today. And why was I fortunate? There were incredible, honestly incredible, gorgeous, amazing women working out around me. So it's been almost the exact opposite of what it's been for the last few times. Awesome exercises, great exercise selections all around, great form, and I can't emphasize that enough. Great form and technique. I would work out with any of them any day, and I would even take out my workout and just do what they were doing, because I would trust that they're doing good just routines, good workouts, good programming, and that says a lot if I say that. I'm very much of a stickler to stick with a program and not deviate if I can. But if any of them walked up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to work out with me today and do what I do?" I would say yes. And that says a lot. So I was very, very grateful, and it was a great workout. All right, y'all. Adopt, don't chop.